Welcome everyone to Rise with Hanna Olivas, exclusively on FENIX TV. And my exceptional guest today is none other than Christina Johnson. And she has so much to share. We're going to do some deep dives into her book, all the amazing things that she's doing. And I just want to say thank you for joining me today and welcome.
Thank you, Hanna. Thank you. I thank you so much for having me.
So I want to start kind of back, like way back, because I know that you have this book that made its debut, My Choice to Choose.
Yes.
But I know that there's so much more that happened and that is part of your journey. So tell us about Christina as young Christina, when you were young, little, the world was your oyster and everything in between.
Yes, that's kind of how my book starts out. I came from a mom who was a teen mom. And so it was a little rocky because my father wasn't initially in my life. And so I grew up with my mom and my stepdad and my two brothers in Charlotte, North Carolina. Grew up in the church, was a Southern church girl. And I ended up being very fearful. A lot of things happened to me. I've experienced molestation as a child and had to deal with that because even in a child's mind, like I was thinking about how it would affect everybody else around me. So I kept it a secret and didn't tell anyone or share anything. Our house, we had abuse in the house. And so it was really scary as a young girl growing up with inside of these circumstances. So the church really became my saving grace. It was the way that we were outside of the house. I was always taught that God loved me no matter what. And I really held on to that. That really was my saving grace as a kid, is just realizing that there was a higher power that cared for me no matter what happened to me, that God always would love me and that, and forgive me for any of my wrongdoing. So really and truly, that was, people always say, who was your mentor growing up? And it was like, well, church kind of saved my life. So, but I was a country girl riding bikes and playing basketball, racing, all the kids in the neighborhood. And I grew up like a normal child. It was just a lot of things that were going on inside the house were different than what I could tell, my neighbors were going through and how they lived. So, but I don't know, even as an adult now, I regret nothing. I know that everything has worked out for my good and made me such a compassionate person that now I'm able to help other women and people, but a majority of my following is women. So help other women get their trauma and the things that they've been through because I've lived through it.
So would you say, like, high school days for you, did you ever imagine that the way life is today, was that even in the horizon for you? I mean, how was it for high school for you going through life? I mean, this is our most developmental years, right? We're in our teenage years. We think we have it all figured out, but the idea is, we really don't. So like, what was the kind of pivotal moment where you stepped into who you are today?
And it's crazy because even in high school, I was trying to find my way. I think around that time, Hanna, I really was trying to find love, right? I wanted to be loved. And since I know my parents loved me. They had just experienced their own trauma and it was hard for them to let go of their own stuff. So I would, seek it out in friendships and in, my little boyfriends and things of that nature, just looking for someone to love me and see me. I didn't have any self-esteem. People were like, I had low self-esteem. I didn't have any. I didn't even know what self-esteem was till I was around 20 years old. And I really and truly didn't think I was pretty or smart enough. I tried to overachieve and overcompensate for things that I felt like I didn't naturally have. back, it's really sad, when you look back, it's like, "Oh my god, you were beautiful and you were kind," but being in it was difficult, so I was just really trying to find my way. I think that I was a people pleaser because I just wanted to be loved, so it's like if I'm the best daughter, the best student, the best friend, people will love me. If I hear that, you're the best niece and cousin, I was longing for that love. And I think I started growing into myself and understanding that how powerful I was in my early 20s, because by this time I learned to meditate. I think it was 19 when I learned about herbs and healing and all the things. And then I started really, like, Christina, understanding that this is my journey now. I get to make choices that are different from what I saw. I don't have to be the disciplinarian like, my parents were. I can I can do things differently because I started early. I had a child at 16 and 19. So I was like, you have the opportunity to do things your way. And I
Mm.
think that started to come, I know it did, in my early 20s.
So you talk very intimately in your book, My Choice to Choose, about so many aspects of your journey. What do you think was one of the most pivotal moments that just really stood out to you where you said, you know what? Something's got to give here, something's got to change?
Wow. It's so many. But I would think even in my adult life as a woman, I was the one that gave everything away. A lot of
Mm.
times, because we're women, because as women, we're nurturers, we have a way of taking care of everybody and putting ourselves last. And I kept getting this message. My aunt would say, Chris, it's okay for you to give, but don't give everything away. Save something for yourself. And I would be like, okay. But still, if someone needed something monetarily or my time, or I was there, right? And
Mhm.
so eventually I got sick. I talk about it in the book, with Graves' disease, and I almost lost my life. And then things got quiet. That's when you start to wonder, well, where is everyone at? The one who I help you keep your house out of foreclosure, or I paid this bill so your lights wouldn't get cut off. And it got quiet. I learned quite a few lessons being ill that was like, okay, Christina, enough is enough. It's time for you to give yourself the same love, grace, understanding that you give to everyone else. And that was a pivotal moment. I had already went through a divorce. And I was like, I got to change my life. It's not that I hadn't been. I've been healing since I was young. I love to journal, right? And so the writing has healed me all throughout my childhood. I wrote. I have journals like stacked up. And I would journal daily, and I would keep a gratitude journal eventually as well, so that I could make sure that I knew, like, be grateful for the things that you already have. It opens the door for more, and then you can bless people, but be discerned in your blessing when you give. And so I would think when I got sick with Graves' disease, it turned my life around, because as a giver, as a people pleaser, you don't think about yourself. Like I said, you put yourself last, and this really made me stop and say, that's enough. You deserve the same love and care and grace that you're giving to everyone else.
So earlier you mentioned, that you were looking for love, that you wanted to be loved.
Mhm.
How are you feeling about that today?
I love myself so much. And I feel that I didn't have that growing up. I didn't have that, in my early years. I mean, bit by bit and piece by piece, I would start to kind of see more. Like, you're talented. You can write. You are kind-hearted. You are a motivator. Little stuff was coming up, but I just really was like, I'm sorry. I wanted to say the last question again, because I feel like I get
Do you feel, you mentioned earlier, you said, you just wanted to feel love, you wanted to find love. And
Oh,
did you find that, which you answered and saying that, yes, I love myself. I
yes.
think a lot of times we look for it in different, you know,
Mhm.
people, places, or things, but the reality is we do have to love ourselves first and
Absolutely.
foremost.
Yes, I think that is the greatest love. It's hard to love other people when you don't love yourself. It's hard to love them genuinely without condition. When you are so hard on yourself, you don't really see yourself and you don't care for yourself and love yourself. Now, I know, like, I teach people how to treat me through the way that I treat myself. And
Mhm.
I know that my self love shines from the inside out. Now, I've always been a person that loved. Even as a young person, I just loved love, and I'm like that now. I exuded love and gratitude. And so that self love is such an important component. And people don't understand, like, if you don't have that, you're missing something really.
Mhm.
And so the love that I have now, I'm able to give love because of my self love. I love myself first. And then I love when Iyanla Vanzant always says, like, give away when your cup runneth over, you can give away what runs over, but don't ever
Mhm.
cup. And now I've learned to do that. And so romantically, I'm single by choice. I haven't found, well, I'm not looking. Can I just say that? Um, I'm enjoying life. And when it
Mhm.
comes, I'm open to it. I understand the difference between guarding your heart, being conscious of what you're allowing in and also giving love out, but being mindful of what you're allowing in as well. And so when it comes, I know I'll know it and I'm open to it and it's all good. But right now, my love for travel, my love for great food, loving on my family and my friends, working because it doesn't feel like work to me. Whether it's writing the book or speaking to women, or doing interior design, that gives me joy. And so until they say the one shows up, I'm loving life. He's gonna have to catch me on one of these flights or in another country or
I love it. I love it.
I
And he
really
might. He
am.
might when you least expect it.
Yeah, that's what I think. I'm like, when you're not looking, that's when it shows up. But I'm open, and for a long time, I wasn't. I was really scared because once you go through a divorce, it strips your heart. Like, it shatters you in a way. And it's like, I was so scared to love again. I was so afraid to open my heart because I didn't want it to get broken. Because well, I definitely didn't get married to get divorced, right?
Mhm.
So I think it just shattered me. I mean, it took me a long time to get over just because I felt like, when you stand up at the church in front of the minister, you're like making these promises to God. And I felt like, oh, I failed God, it didn't work. And so I think it took me a while. I know it did. It just took me a while to get to the place of it's okay for you to love again. It's okay that it didn't work out. I was actually on a live last night saying, you guys, it's okay if something doesn't work, like relationship, job, opportunity, be okay with it was great for what it was when it was. Get the lessons from it and you keep it moving because now that person, that job, that opportunity can now bless someone else and then take you to higher heights. Right. So I'm okay. Like, as far as that goes, I'm just he'll show up and I'll be excited. So, and I want to feel safe. And I also understand now that you give what you want as well. So I am healing. We're always healing. I don't feel like healing is a destination because as soon as you heal one thing, then here comes something else that you're like, what is this? It could be residue from that same thing, or it could be something else that needs to be healed. So I want to make sure that I'm preparing a safe place for someone as well, so that he feels safe with me and knows that he'll be loved on and taken care of. But it will always be Christina first, because as long as I'm good, I'm able to help and take care of other people. But I'm never going to put myself last anymore, for
Mhm.
sure. Yeah.
You wrote in your book, the painful breaks that you had, and you were married to someone that was known.
Yes.
And I feel like when women especially are wanting to leave or they want the out, but the person they're married to is such a high profile,
Yeah.
and there's like so much backlash, and I don't think people really understand the depth. No one knows what goes on behind closed doors, but you shared some of that.
Yeah.
And I think that's so brave for you to just be such an open book and write this book, because like when you were talking about the part where you're in church and you got married to stay married, not to get divorced, but you got divorced, right? But
Yes.
it's okay. But
Yes.
you went through the thoughts of, am I failing God? And can you imagine how many women stay because they're so devoted to faith, and they take that heavy burden and keep it, and they stay in places that they shouldn't be. So I think your book just kind of like, it's like, look, if I did this, I can do this. I'm still standing. I mean, you talk about your diagnosis, and yet here you are, glowing, living,
Yeah.
sharing, and empowering others. So whoever is blessed enough to come through your path is going to see this version of you
Hmm.
that I bet you didn't even know was going to exist back.
I did not. I did not. When CeeLo and I got married, we were young. I met him. He had just turned 22 and I was 24. And so, he came from trauma. I came from trauma. And so I'm sure we trauma bonded. We really care for each other. We built a friendship and we held on to that friendship for all these years. It's like, it was so hard because you love someone so much and so hard and so strong with everything in you, but like, this is not healthy. This is not good. Like, I understand where that comes from. I understand where our trauma came from. I understand where the pain came from, but it's like, I have kids. I grew up around abuse. I do not want my kids to see this. I do not want my children to experience this. And one thing about children is they do what you do, not what you say always. And so for me, it was like, I have to set the example. And unfortunately, at that time, I was so broken that I felt like, well, I can't leave for me. I'm not strong enough. I love him so much. I want to stay, but I cannot stay. And so I left for my children. And so that's just what it was.
Mhm.
Because I felt like eventually I'm going to have to see this again in their homes. And that's what I don't want. Um,
Mhm.
so the biggest thing is understanding that, when you have daughters, they strive to be like mom a lot of times, and I have to set the example of woman for them. I had to set the example of woman for my son, because a lot of times, I mean, whether you like it or not, these boys find women that reflect you in some ways, and so I just felt like I didn't want anyone to become a victim, perpetrator, or survivor of abuse, so I left for my children, and we loved each other. That was hard because divorcing someone when you're still in love with them is hard, and I know he loved me. I know he loved the kids. I know he loved his family, but some things are so hard on our souls and our spirits, and so much trauma and so much things that we've been through can be so painful that it's hard for us to move past it and let it go. So we divorced, but tried to keep things as normal as we could for the kids. We did a lot of things together still. I mean, we did her birthdays and holidays and all the things. The recent last few years, it hasn't been, because it had to be some, like, okay, the kids are grown now. So they're
Mhm.
supposed to have their own relationship. You know what I mean? And so it was just kind of like, okay, you're happy, I'm happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know,
Let's just be happy and live life.
yes. So I'm very happy for him. He's in a happy relationship with a wonderful woman. And I am enjoying my life. I've never experienced so much peace in my life. It is the most priceless and beautiful thing. And sometimes when we're going through divorce, we feel like there's no life after divorce. How am I going to survive without this person? I mean, I'm leaving a freaking rock star, for God's sake. How am I going to eat? You know, and I had started my own career and I was like, I'm just going to try to make it happen. He was still there for me and the kids, of course, and you know, doing what he could to help us out. But I'm such an independent too. So, you know, I started an interior design business when we were still together, when we were married. And so that business has grown so much. And now I have a business partner. We do design. Today, I'm actually here because we're on set all day. We're going to be taping our DMI online courses. So now we're teaching design, which is beautiful because we are always out in the field designing commercial and residential spaces. And now we'll be able to teach other people. And like I said, I talk to women. I have a beautiful retreat that I'm speaking at in March in Tulum that's coming up. I love helping women to see the beauty in themselves, to understand it does not matter where you come from, what your past looks like. I promise you, like everything is working for your good. Even when it doesn't feel like it, I always say God is always in the background working for your good, especially when it doesn't feel like it. I feel like that's when he's doing the most moving and shaking, and this person is being moved here and this person may be moved here so you can go in this spot. And I just feel like it's like puzzle pieces. So I get so excited to talk to women and have sisterhood and womanhood and love on each other. So everything happened because it was supposed to happen so that this could be my reality. And I'm very, very happy about it. Like I said earlier, I don't regret anything.
I think it's really such an extraordinary journey that you've been on. I mean, you have your own identity. You
Mhm.
were one who made it through, and your identity wasn't crisscrossed with someone else's. Like you
Yeah.
came out the other side, where a lot of women, you don't see that. And I think when women open up and write books and really share the vulnerability, I think it gives so many others hope to want to do the same. And I'm not saying like everyone should rush out and get a divorce. But what I mean is like
Mhm.
it's an eye-opening thing when you see someone have so much courage to let the world read their most personal, intimate
Yeah.
details in life. And it's not easy. So, for those who are watching and listening, you know, writing a memoir and really just kind of bearing and sharing has to come from a deep place of heart. I want you all to know that I know that Christina did not just wake up one day and say, "Here we go." This is, you know, every piece of this book is a piece of you. And
Yes.
I think that a lot of times people don't really understand that there's tears on those pages. There is so many different things. It's both therapeutic for you
Mhm.
to write this and let this be, but to the person who picks this up and reads it, there's faith, there's hope, there's bravery,
Yeah.
there's all these different things. I mean, look at all the things that you've done. Interior design, you are one of the top knowns.
Yeah.
You are a mother. You are doing all these different things. I mean, you've had and done so many roles in your journey. So my
Yeah.
question to you is, here we are today. What's one of your favorite things that you are just working on right now that you just absolutely love?
Oh my God. Okay. So I would say interior design is my passion and it's my gift. So I'm very excited every time we do these beautiful projects. We're working on a beautiful restaurant in Dallas, Texas, called Nuvo. I'm excited about that, but I'm as excited about us teaching design because I love sharing. I love sharing gifts. I love sharing knowledge. I love sharing wisdom. And so I would say I'm super excited about transitioning from, like I said, being hands on with design and now being able to teach courses. I'm very, very excited about DMI Online and also writing. I'm working on my second book, and it's going to have some of my story in that as well, but it's going to be more about fasting and healing the body because I've been able to, heal myself along with the Most High and my faith, and my positivity, from different things, and so different illnesses. And so I want to share that with people so that they know this, this is a way that you can heal yourself, holistically. So I'm excited about that. So writing is another thing that I am in love with. And like you said, wow, it almost made me cry. But it's like I started my book during my divorce in '04 after I filed for divorce. And it's 2024. It took me 20 years to finally put this book out. It was so scary. It was so, and I've always been an open book. I've always shared a lot, online, on television. When I did Atlanta X's on VH1, I shared a lot. My ex-husband came on there, and it was like, but this is totally different. This is like stuff in there that my closest friends didn't know. So it was very, very scary. But my purpose in writing the book is what I hope is what rings true for this book and just carries it, is that I want people to know that no matter what your life has been, what choices you've made, you can overcome it all. And my life is a testament of that. I mean, I come from an abusive childhood and molestation and rape in high school to, raising kids as a teenager, to traveling the world, to starting my own company. I mean, Ludacris was my very first client when I started design. And when I initially started, no one would help me. So I was self-taught. I was doing my friends' houses for free. If they just pay for the stuff, I'll design it for you. And I had to teach myself and read books and watch HGTV and do all of these things. And then learn from trial and error. But it's been over 20 years I've been doing it, and it's been such a gift to me. So I just want people to know that there's life after divorce if you have to go through it. Another thing is that before I left my marriage, and it was the best advice, my Aunt Ruth, who I just lost recently, told me, was that you do everything you can to save your marriage first. You turn over every stone. Like, it meant whatever that means for you. For me, it meant burning sage, praying, going to church, all of us, including him. It meant, going to therapy, everything you can to try and save it. And then if nothing else works, because you never want to leave with regret and guilt, because sometimes it's hard to go back after the fact. So it's like you want to leave knowing I did everything I could. I did everything I could. And I know in certain religions, we're taught you're not supposed to get a divorce, and you're supposed to, the Most High does not want us to stay in anything that is harmful to us, that is hurtful to us, that is, horrific or tragic, or he wants us to be happy and joyous. And that's what this life is about. We say life is lifing, like life gonna life anyway. It's gonna throw its curveball. When it does, fine, but if you can control it, guide it, coast it, flow with the current. It's okay. New beginnings are great. Starting over is wonderful. And like I said, then that frees you to have your perfect fit. And it frees the other person for them to get their perfect fit. But don't try to make something fit that doesn't. Just enjoy this journey. It goes fast. I mean, I'm looking back now like I'm in my 50s. I don't feel like I'm in my 50s, but I am. And sometimes it's like like jaw dropping, like, oh my God, like I really, and it's a beautiful thing. Like, I'm so happy that I'm here and I've been preserved and I'm resilient and I'm strong and I'm powerful and I'm able to help other people and I still look good. So Then I'm a grandmother of 5 now, and it's like, I want to enjoy every precious heartbeat that I have.
Mhm.
So precious. Every time I get off of my lives on Instagram, I always say thank you. And I want to thank you, Hannah, for sharing your heartbeats with me. They're so precious. So the moments that people take out to come on my live or to read my book or to be a participant of anything I'm at or speaking at, I am so grateful because I know how precious life is because I've almost lost mine. And I know that there is love that is waiting for you on the other side. It just really is. So, um, thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you so
So,
much.
my choice to choose is a personal memoir of Christina Johnson. And where can people find this book?
It's on Amazon. I was so blessed to be an Amazon bestseller and number one hot release, new releases. I'm gonna show you the cover. So this is it, my choice to choose, you guys, and it's just a love offering, really. It's just me bearing my past. And the thing is, like, it's not a tell-all. Like, I think I talked about 2 situations in a marriage but I'm really telling on myself and the choices that I've made and the things that I've done that people would think were mistakes. And now
Mhm.
in my life, I just think if it brought out the best in me, if it made me more resilient, it made me a stronger woman, a more powerful woman, then was it a mistake at all? All these things happen because they need to, and we use them as growth and as lessons to become better. So just please, if you do get it, enjoy it. But please just enjoy life and stay grateful because we really are blessed. We really are blessed.
Amen. And if you do get it, read it, leave a review, recommend it, and have someone else get it and do the same. Um, so you spoke a little bit, you touched a little bit about a retreat happening in Tulum, Mexico. And I also saw you have an upcoming event for a night of giving.
That was for it happened on Sunday. That was for my dear and close friend Brayley Evans. I sit on the board of her nonprofit. It's called 9 to 5 to Wow for people who want to leave their 9 to 5s to follow their dreams.
I love that.
Actually done. Yeah. It's like and so Tabitha Brown had donated to the cause and Brayley gave away money to people that wanted to start or are going to start transitioning out of their 9 to 5 to follow their dreams. I think it's amazing and it's healing to us when we do what we love versus doing what we have to do and we're taught to go after the bag and get this money and do this and that and we're unhappy and so this is giving you the opportunity to do what you love. Because like I said before, working in design and speaking to women, this is my heart's work when I get to go speak to women. This is my heart's work and it doesn't feel like work. Uh,
Mhm.
Doing design doesn't feel like work. I get to spend other people's money to buy amazing furniture to get dope furnishing, lighting. And so you want to do what you love to do. So they help. Well, because I sit on the board, I feel like it's mine too. But we help people to transition out of their 9 to 5s to do what they love to do. So yeah, I mean, I love to have my hands in on everything. And especially with my friends, I love to celebrate them because a lot of times we purchase from these big companies and all of this stuff. And we have people right around us who we should be supporting, who are our family and our friends that have these businesses. So anytime my friends are doing anything, I'm going to sit on the board or I'm going to be the first to purchase their product. I'm always sad when I'm not the very first. So when I know it's going on sale, I'll go buy it first because I want them to know you should be supported by the people around you, not just strangers, the people who say they love you. Love is an action word.
Yes.
I like to love in action. So that's how I ended up on the board for Brayley and every product she's put out. And a lot of my friends around me, they know I'm going to be the first to support and purchase and be there, be present for them.
Well, I just want to say thank you for sharing and being so vulnerable and open about everything today. And a huge congratulations on your book, your journey. I just joined the 50s club and I love it.
Well,
I
so
am
wasn't it bomb?
it is. I think it's like everything looks different. I'm a
Yeah.
grandma. I can relate to having those sweet grandbabies.
Yeah.
Just, that's that heartbeat that you talked about. And you have so much more living to do and so much to experience that I feel like
The
this
tip
is
of the
just
iceberg.
exactly.
Yeah, man, it's so good. Oh, I love that. The grandbabies, they just stretch your heart. Like you're like,
Yes.
hey, my heart can get any bigger, and here they come, and it's like, and I have one, the youngest one out of the five that looks like me now. I'm like, this is my twin. I love them all so much. So yes, that is a gift. I'm so grateful.
And you still look good, like you said. So
Yeah.
50s, the 50s to me is the new 20s, but it's really great to hear from you and for you to share your heart. How can people connect with you? What's the best way to really just support you, follow your journey? What's the best way to do that?
So you can go on my website, ChristinaSJohnson.com. Everything Christina's there. Instagram, I'm always on Instagram doing lives and communicating with my people, like everybody jumps on Instagram and it's Christina Johnson _. Christina Johnson on Facebook. Inner Peace, INNERPIECE on Twitter. But yeah, ChristinaSJohnson.com has a link to all of that. So please go and you can even get the book there or go to Amazon and put in My Choice to Choose to get your copy.
All right. Thank you. It was so good to talk to you today. Congratulations on everything you're doing. I cannot wait for your second book.
I'm
And
excited.
keep us posted as to what's happening, and we'll make sure to follow you as well.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you, honey.
Thank you.